I swear, Mr. Fitton, listen to your testimony. It's like being in Alice in Wonderland. The idea that why are we here? So let's just put ourselves in context, because apparently none of this is happening in the real world. We just had a sentencing hearing in New York in which the president's personal attorney was given 3 years of jail time. This isn't speculation about what someone might have done. This is a crime admitted to. And in the sentencing, it was identified explicitly that individual number one coordinated and directed this illegal activity, for which Mr. Cohen is going to jail. Not speculative, not phony informants, not make-believe whistleblowers, not smearing or hearsay. This is now in the court record. You just made light, you almost dismissed, well, Russian interference in our election. That's a pretty big thing. And to compare the idea of somebody putting their thumb on the scales of justice in the Department of Justice to protect the Clintons, even though there's no criminal charge to that effect, and in fact the FBI did look at it and found no there, not once but twice, Mr. Comey himself. We had Russian interference in our election. All of our intelligence community agrees with that. The FBI agrees with that. Most senior officials in the Trump administration with respect to foreign policy and law enforcement agree with that, except the president. We have criminal investigations, Mr. Fitton, not about the Clinton Foundation, but about the Trump Foundation. We have a ruling, and I'd like to enter that ruling, Mr. Chairman, into the record, from the Supreme Court of the State of New York saying there is sufficient grounds to go forward with a criminal investigation of the Trump Foundation, not the Clinton Foundation.
Without objection.
And we're not talking about it here, because we're making a political point. Mr. Heiss says that's why we're here. Yes, why we're here is the grand Christmas miracle hope that we will distract the American public from the business at hand. That is grave and serious and undermines democratic institutions and norms. And Mr. Fitton, candidly, I would have expected more from Judicial Watch than your testimony. Mr. Hackney.
Can I respond briefly?
Briefly.
The concern is that
I made a statement, but if you wish to respond, I will.
The concern is the investigation of Russia attempts to influence our policy in the United States is geared at focusing on President Trump to the exclusion of what happened, Russian attempts to try to persuade or guarantee a positive result on the Uranium One scandal, and Russian admitted efforts by the Clinton campaign to base its dossier that was used to spy on President Trump with allegations generated by Russian intelligence.
Yep.
So if there was a broad investigation into the full panoply of what Russia was trying to do with respect to both parties, I think Americans of both parties would be more happy with that.